Hey guys, I'm Kara from the Nourished Body and Soul. I am your Christian nutrition coach who is here to help you figure out how to merge your faith and what science tells us about our body. Today I want to have a discussion with you about protein and why it matters to you. Protein is the biggest macronutrient that helps our bodies to be able to regenerate cells, to build bone, to build muscle, and to generally make us strong overall. Now, proteins are continually being recycled in our bodies. And unlike carbs and fat, protein holds its own place in our body. Carbs and fat can be used by our body in different ways to fuel our body, to give us energy. They can be used interchangeably, but protein is the only form of macronutrient that we have that will help our body actually to be able to build a stronger body. Now, the amount of protein that each individual needs varies on quite a few factors, such as your overall nutritional health, your intake, what your exercise habits are, your health and wellness goals, and how you actually are doing in life with those goals at the current moment. Your stress also depends on your hormones and your individual DNA. And protein is the number one macronutrient that helps keep us satiated whenever we eat. And that just simply means a feeling of feeling satisfied by what you're eating. So it would be protein, then fat, then carbs would be the three things that you want to keep in mind when you're thinking about eating a meal so that you feel good the rest of the day and so that you feel satisfied by what you've eaten. And for women in particular, protein really affects how your metabolism does, how your bones grow, the amount of energy you have throughout the day. I always want to stress that it's super important to try and get a whole food source of protein, especially an animal protein. So first and foremost, we want to always try to eat our protein, not drink our protein. However, today what I want to talk to you about is if you need to supplement your protein intake, because sometimes it can be hard to get enough protein in a whole foods diet. The three proteins I want to share with you today are my top picks for supplementing protein in your diet. Now, I want to preface this by saying that none of these proteins are whey proteins. And the reason that I'm choosing proteins that do not contain whey is that whey is the number one source of inflammation in people's gut. And it really causes a lot of problems for a lot of people when they ingest too much whey. And so I want to show you some options that are available that don't include that. So the first thing I want to talk to you today about is a bone broth protein. Now, I've been using this protein for years and I love it. But the thing is, what we want to know about our proteins is that the protein powders is that they don't contain the full amino acid profile that you'll find in eating a piece of chicken or a piece of fish or a steak. Just cannot replicate what nature gives you naturally in a protein powder. However, I do think that these options that I'm going to show you today are really good whenever you need to supplement. So the bone broth protein that I use is Ancient Nutrition. I love their protein because it is a clean version. Ancient Nutrition holds really high standards for the things that they produce. And so everything in the protein is really thought through very carefully. And because it's made from bone broth, it also allows for gut healing. And it's super important for us to ingest things that aren't going to damage our gut, especially when they've been processed. And so that's why I love the bone broth protein. I love to mix that bone broth protein simply with some almond milk and a little bit of water. To me, it tastes like a milkshake. I use the chocolate flavor. And I just love to do that every day to help get me to my protein goals. The second protein that I want to share with you is a protein that I use that just recently came out from Clean Monday. I love this protein because every ingredient in it is very clearly stated. There's a very small list of ingredients, and they have figured out a way to make this protein smooth and non-gritty, which is very hard to find with a plant protein. It has a great taste and it's super easy to use in smoothies and shakes. The reason I like to have a plant protein on hand is that sometimes I just want something to be able to make a really nice smoothie with. And I feel like this one does a great job. Because they've added powdered coconut milk to it, it gives it such a smooth flavor even when you just add it to water. And then the last protein that I want to talk to you about is a collagen protein. Now, this protein is not one that I want you to consider counting towards your overall protein goals each day, but instead, I want you to think about this protein as a protein that you're going to add into your day just simply as nourishment for your body. Even though collagen protein isn't a complete protein, it's super great for your hair, your skin, and your nails and your bones. It is an essential protein that we need to be able to help these parts of our body to regenerate well. The great thing about collagen protein is that you can use it in a shake or a smoothie along with your other protein, but because you can get an unflavored version, it's super easy to mix into coffee or tea or into some oatmeal, and it mixes in really well with no flavor. Now, again, I want to stress for you that none of these proteins are complete proteins. You simply cannot find that in a protein powder. There are definitely some whey protein powders that will have all 9 essential amino acids that are needed to make a complete protein. But I still believe strongly that most of your protein intake should come directly from whole food sources. Again, I just want you to have some options so that whenever you're trying to reach protein goals and it's really hard to be able to get in all of the food that you need to be able to do that, I want you to have some really good, clean options for protein that will help your body to regenerate cells, to grow muscles, to help your bones be strong, and to make you overall more nourished. Protein is essential to our daily life. And adding powders in is just a tool to be able to help you to reach your goals. I'd love for you to comment below on your favorite protein powder, or let me know if you've tried any of the ones I've listed here today. And if you're curious about the ones that I've talked about and the ones that I use regularly, I'm going to link all of those for you in the notes below. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel so that you never miss any updates on your health from me, Kara, your Christian nutrition coach.